Today's session is really all about looking at some practical low-cost strategies. We're going to focus maybe on some of the best practices that are out there, and I'm going to say that the recommissioning, as Richard does it, advocated by NRCan, and some of the energy scans and energy hunts that we all go to are best practice. The energy scan is a fairly simple and practical approach. I mean, if you've got an someone who's an energy analyst, someone who understands energy data, understands energy systems, that's your facilitator. Now, you may have two people to do that, right? We would typically use two, but the idea here is that you've got to have someone to lead it that has the energy knowledge.
Basically, this is the brains of a building. Most, medium to large commercial buildings now will have some type of B.Sc, and it is, by and large, the best single tool that we have. Property managers, building operators, best tool we have to help identify and capture those energy savings. We're seeing, especially here in BC, where we have that temperate climate, we're seeing a lot more heat pump installations, with the heat pump being the main source of heating and cooling to a building. The important thing to remember with heat pumps is they are very temperature sensitive in terms of their incoming water. When you have a heat pump like this that's providing heating and cooling to a building, the return water temperature is crucial to make sure that the heat pump is operating within its limits and able to run as the lead heating source or cooling source. We acknowledge that resources are limited, so property managers, building operators, they need a way to prioritize which building to do first. This new version of the pre-screening tool, which you'll be able to see today, get an advanced copy of, allows you to do that.
EVCX is not an energy efficiency measure, it's a procedure, a systematic process for looking at a building. And it goes well beyond just doing screen checks. There's no doubt that the screen checks and looking at the BAS is a valuable piece, and it can be a valuable part of a recommissioning. But basically, a recommissioning is a much more fulsome process. It's a systematic investigation. It can involve recalibration of existing equipment, right? And many times does. It will definitely look for those low-cost, no-cost operational measures, which both improve energy but also comfort. Over time, buildings will age, right? And comfort problems can increase and energy performance can diminish. What is the process? I think these 4 steps are really, really important. If you take nothing away from today, other than the fact that there's 4 steps in an EVCX, and planning is one of the most important ones.
A lot of the studies, a lot of the recommissioning work, like the consultants, like we do here at Prism, is funded by utilities. So the barriers to entry to have someone come in, or whether you're doing it yourself or getting a consultant on board, the barriers to entry are very low, and the paybacks are often less than 2 years. We're trying to give you a comprehensive approach, how to do it by the book. These are all considerations that you need to be making when you're going into an EVCX project. Finally, as Stephen rightly pointed out earlier, training is a huge part of this. Some of the operators in these buildings have been there for years and know their buildings well. And when change happens, people don't necessarily respond well to change. So making sure they're engaged throughout the process.
The human side of this thing is why a lot of it doesn't work, but when it does work, it's because of the human side of it.